I've been living in Anfield Plain since I was 7 with my mum and dad, as well as my brother who moved away recently. I also have a dog and a rabbit. For as long as I can remember, I've known I've had dyspraxia, but for years I thought it just meant clumsy, so I carried on thinking that it just meant being more clumsy than other people, and why I ran funny too. That's all I knew about it up until I was 14, when I thought I'll look it up on the internet and found out a lot more about dyspraxia. According to the Dyspraxia Foundation, it describes that the cerebral cortex, which controls motor functions and sensory thinking, is divided into two hemispheres, the left and the right. They work in an almost separate fashion, independently offering pieces of information to complete an activity. The left hemisphere receives information in a jumbled way, and the right hemisphere interprets this information into the correct order. They work in an almost separate fashion. People with dyspraxia do not have both of these hemispheres responding in the same coordinated fashion, causing the information that processes into an action to become muddled. Dyspraxia affects 1 in 12 people in the UK, so out of 120 people, 10 would statistically be affected by dyspraxia, and at least 2 of these 25 people would be severely affected. Men are 4 times more likely to have dyspraxia than women. There are a few famous people that have admitted to having dyspraxia, but there are some, such as Daniel Radcliffe, also known as Harry Potter, who stated back in an interview in 2008 that he had dyspraxia. Another famous person with the condition is David Bailey, who was a highly respected photographer who has taken professional photos of lots of big stars like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and the Kaiser Chiefs. Dyspraxia runs in his family, as 2 out of 3 of his children have dyspraxia as well. Having dyspraxia makes me run off balance and have writing that is poor, but I'm used to it. Dyspraxia possibly does affect me in more ways as well, but I won't realise till if it was pointed out to me. I sometimes get sentences muddled up, either writing or talking. My writing is poor, but I'm an excellent drawer, as I've got a BTEC in art as well as a GCSE. I've passed English, language and literature as well, but had to work hard to keep up with writing.
Hi, my name is Katie Bear, and I have dyspraxia. Currently I'm unemployed, though I am doing supply work as a classroom assistant and doing lots of volunteer work. I'm taking a classroom assistant course and studying to be an English teacher, teaching foreign English as a foreign language course. So I'm kind of very busy, even though I have no permanent job. Although I do part-time work working at the Newcastle football ground, selling lottery tickets there.
Can you explain what is dyspraxia?
Dyspraxia it's kind of a neurological condition, I think, that affects fine motor skills, and it's like dyslexia, but it's slightly different. It affects lots of people in lots of different ways. You can often struggle. The symptoms include, like I said, a lot of people can have communication difficulties, low self-esteem, struggling to, organisational skills are not great, or thing like that, really.
How has dyspraxia affected you in day-to-day life?
Well, I was diagnosed when I was 21, so I was diagnosed quite late in life. Diagnosed at the university. It doesn't really affect my communication or social skills, but I'm very clumsy and I'm quite disorganised. My room is a tip at home, and I struggle. I drop a lot of things and I get frustrated, and some basic things like making the bed, is quite hard, or I'm not very good with directions, remembering things, and I just get flustered and I get very frustrated with it. and writing essays is quite hard. I struggle to put words from my head onto the paper, but I write stories no problem. When it comes to academic work, I really struggle to get my ideas on paper. That affects me.
What kind of stories do you write?
Anything like children, fictional stories. I've written a couple that I'm hopefully trying to get published at some point, which will be lovely.
Do you find it hard to cope?
Sometimes I struggle. I get very frustrated and angry with myself. Sometimes you just want to cry because everything's getting on top of you. I try and manage, I try and, put a to-do list or write down things where I am, what I'm doing. My organisation is a bit better, but I still need to, put things in places so I know where they all are. I need to plan time management a bit better, I think. I need to become a lot better at that.
Do you have, an opinion on dyspraxia, as a whole?
Well, actually, I'm trying to hopefully try and raise some awareness of it myself, because I feel that dyspraxia is not publicised very much. It's everyone knows about dyslexia. Dyslexia is a lot more common. Until I was diagnosed with dyspraxia, I never heard of it. And I was 21, and then Daniel Radcliffe was just diagnosed when I was, so it's starting to become a lot more well known. There is the Dyspraxia Foundation that helped, but I think generally not enough people know about dyspraxia, and I think it needs to be publicised more about the condition, because I've been reading kids at school, they're being picked on for being clumsy. The teacher just assumes they're naughty children, but they could just suffer from dyspraxia. So I think more awareness needs to be made as a whole, definitely.
How did you find the Dyspraxia Foundation?
I really enjoyed it when I went to a workshop that they put on in Newcastle. And the workshop was interesting. It told me more about rights in the workplace, because I was always worried about whether to disclose I had dyspraxia or not, and they talked a lot about whether you should disclose it or when you should disclose it. And I met lots of lovely people who had dyspraxia, and it's nice to go out with people knowing that they're not going to judge you for being a bit different. And I like that. It's nice to have friends who, none of my friends judge me anyway, but it's nice to have people who understand the condition. And so it was lovely to meet lots of people who share the same, who have dyspraxia like you do. So that was good.
Is there any help out there to combat dyspraxia other than Dyspraxia Foundation?
Not enough, in my opinion. I've tried to put my own things in place. I've tried to read this book about time management. I've tried to do to-do lists to help myself, but there's a charity called Heel and Toe that work with children. I volunteer for them. They work with children who have dyspraxia, but for adults who suffer from dyspraxia, I don't think there is enough help out there, and I think there should be more. And there's understanding at uni. I got extra help. I got a computer and extra help, but I think there should be more awareness for adults. Definitely, more help.
I guess me and Katie have a lot of similarities when it comes to dyspraxia, as we both have to deal with the same issues, such as little tasks being hard, like tying your shoelaces. I guess me and Katie have a lot of similarities when it comes to dyspraxia. Dyspraxia definitely does need more awareness. Offering help is the Dyspraxia Foundation, but I don't think it's doing enough. By typing in dyspraxia on Google, you'll get a load of information that can be helpful, but not all of it may be true. Not many people know about dyspraxia, and that's why dyspraxia awareness needs to be raised, and more people need to know what it is and how to deal with it and what it's like. Soon, in a couple of months, when I turn 17, I hope to start driving lessons. I've read it may be harder for people with dyspraxia, as it requires more coordination. I hope dyspraxia is not much of a problem in my later life, and I can still do all the things that I want to do.